We are here at CPAC 2025, and I am joined by Alireza Jafarzadeh. Thank you, sir, for being here.
Thank you so much.
You are from Iran. You have a very interesting story and a mission that you're on to bring a democracy and give freedom to the Iranian people. Tell us your story.
Well, the Iranian people have a very deep-rooted desire for freedom and democracy in Iran. They overthrew the Shah's dictatorship, which had the secret police CPAC that went after intellectuals and put them in jail and killed them, had a single-party rule and a corrupt regime. They overthrew that, but too bad the genuine revolution was stolen by the clerics who came out of nowhere and instilled even more repression. Now there's been going on, protests and uprisings and extensive, decades-long resistance against the theocracy, wanting to end the rule of theocracy and have a democracy, political pluralism, and a future that would not only impact the people of Iran, but the whole region. Just imagine a free democratic republic Iran, how diametrically that would be opposed to the current theocracy, which is the head of the snake of war and terror in the whole region, and how a free Iran would impact the whole region, both in terms of affecting peace there, but also ending terrorism and ending the development of nuclear weapons and the missile program and the drone program.
You touched on so many things there that I want to follow up with, but why do you think now is the right time?
Well, first of all, it's really, honestly speaking, it's long overdue.
Yes, it
should
is.
have been done a long time ago. But
you feel that the popular will exists
yes,
there today?
The popular will already was there. As I mentioned, since 2018 at least, there were 9 rounds of major uprisings in Iran in all 31 provinces of the country. It's no longer limited to intellectuals. It's now the poor, the deprived, the smaller towns and cities. Every sector of the society are actually involved in the protest to bring down the Ayatollah. Second, this organized force that has been confronting the regime has been empowered over the past few years. They have these resistance units in Iran, mostly young people who are confronting the Iranian regime. And third, the whole regional situation has changed. Look at the Hezbollah, which was the biggest proxy that Tehran has had, totally funded and trained by the Iran regime. Look how decimated they are now.
Yes.
The biggest ally of Tehran was Assad in Syria, the dictator. Tehran spent at least $50 billion to keep him in power, using about 100,000 of their proxies over the years, yet in 11 days, the whole thing collapsed. So, and then the Houthis, the same situation. So the world has seen the weaknesses and the vulnerability of the regime in the region, but also sends a message to the people of Iran that this regime is not 10 feet tall. This perception that the regime had created, that they're invincible, is no longer there. Even the perception is gone. So, and now, the whole situation now here, there's a new administration in the United States. Europe is waking up, I hope. And there's, a tremendous desire everywhere else to see an end to the nuclear threat of the Iran regime, but also their terrorism. All of that overlaps with this opportunity that exists now. Now, when it comes to the nuclear weapons program of the Iran regime, which they're dashing towards building the bomb, there is a nuclear clock, because come October this year, all of the sanctions at the UN will expire. The ability to snap back the sanctions will also expire. So you have a very small window of opportunity that you want to use and build as much pressure as possible on the Iran regime. Hopefully this will create space for those forces on the ground who want to bring about change in the country. There's no need for boots on the ground or appropriating any money. The desire to just understand that this reality, recognizing this reality, that change is feasible, is doable, but is extremely necessary, not just for the people of Iran, but for the whole world. That's why I think, every minute counts. We shouldn't waste a day and in moving forward toward that direction.
How does the Trump administration change the dynamic, say, as compared to his predecessor in the White House, which seemed to be much more hands-off or lenient toward the current regime in Iran?
Well, for this, you don't really need analysts. I mean, just look at the situation of the mullahs in Tehran. Okay, they were getting a lot of sanctions relief. They were getting a lot of money and
Correct,
resources.
yes.
They were being appeased by the outside world. That has been stopped. President Trump announced on February 4th their policy regarding Iran, that imposing sanctions on the Iran regime, saying that the nuclear sites of Iran, the whole nuclear program, need to close down, which has been our demand since many years ago. And also Congress is in line. There are several resolutions in the House and the Senate in favor of change in Iran, in favor of the 10-point plan, which I just mentioned, by our leader, Mrs. Mariam Rajavi, a female leader actually. Also among the Iranian Americans, there's a big momentum here because what's been happening, come March 8th next month, there's going to be a big rally in front of the Capitol, marching towards the White House by thousands of Iranians coming, saying that, freedom is the answer. You need to impose sanctions on the Iranian regime, but also support the prospect for change in Iran by the Iranian people. That's the kind of momentum that we're working on, and I think that's the kind of momentum that helps ending the threat of the Iranian regime once and for all.
Well, you, sir, have been quite busy here at CPAC and obviously making a lot of connections and in developing relationships. Why was it important for you to be here?
Well, I think it was important for me to be here, to be able to share with the American public the realities on the ground regarding Iran. Because what's really, when it comes to policy regarding Iran, the one thing over the past several decades was ignored was the people of Iran. It was always as though like this administration comes or the other administration goes and it's all about Europe, it's all about US. But they didn't really look at the desire of the people of Iran, taking them into account, looking at Iran from the view of the people of Iran. And I think it's so important for the American public to know that there is a very strong desire by the people of Iran to change. Not only that, but they're paying the price for it. They're protesting, they're being jailed for it. Just in 2024, over 1,000 prisoners were executed by the Iranian regime, which is higher than all the previous years. There were a number of people who were arrested during the protests who are now sentenced to death. They're on death row. These are the things that I think the American public should know.
Yes, absolutely.
And CPAC is a great venue to share that information with the public. I think the role of the American people is extremely important, to share all of these with their members of Congress, their senators and representatives, and urge them to side with the people of Iran, but to push for a tougher and firmer policy regarding Iran. The rest is the responsibility of the people of Iran.
Well, thank you for the work you're doing and bringing us up to speed. We will certainly be paying attention to not only your efforts, but some of those popular uprisings that we have seen. And our prayers go out to all those individuals who might be suffering or being persecuted right now in Iran. So thank you for spending time with the Daily Signal today.
Always a pleasure. Appreciate that.